Welcome back, our fellow patriots, to the Save Our Republic daily series. Yesterday, we discussed the importance of enumerated powers in the Constitution. The idea that the federal government only has power that's expressly given to it. And today, I want to expand a little bit more about why that is important. Yesterday, I really just explained what it was. Today, I want to do a deep dive into why it's important. We have forgotten over the last 25 years or so, maybe even longer than that, the importance of restricting the federal government's role in our life. There's an adage which nobody pays attention to anymore, and I'm not sure if I invented it or somebody else did, but the power to do good is the power to do evil. So when you think about what power somebody should have or a government should have, you want to think about it not just the power that you can do to accomplish the policies that you really are in favor of, but the exact opposite. What powers, what policies, what laws can the other side, diametrically opposed to you, be able to impose on society if they had power? And we're kind of getting a little example of this right now. We have a president who has apparently, according to the major media, exerted and passed executive power and orders in a way that is unprecedented in American history. He's passed at least 50 executive orders, maybe even by the time I'm done with this episode, it'll be more, and he's reversing the policies of the prior administration. So the power of one is now being outdone by the power of the other, because they had that power. They both were implementing it. Think about, and I'll just use this as an example because it's the current reality. The Democrat Party has control of the presidency and the Congress. So they can pass any laws they want as long as they're constitutional. And if you happen to be someone that agrees with that philosophical disposition and you really want to enact a liberal or progressive agenda, you might be extremely excited. But remember, the power to do good is the power to do evil. So someday, as the worm turns, there will be a Republican or conservative or maybe even a libertarian party that takes power and has both the legislature and the executive, and then they will be able to pass all the laws that you hate and despise. Why? Because they have the power to do so, because the Constitution grants them that, subject to the limitations of enumerated powers. So the idea of enumerated powers and of the Constitution is that we rein in the authority of the federal government to only act in very specific areas that are delegated to them through the Constitution. And as I touched on yesterday, these are areas of policy that affect the whole nation. National defense, tax, interstate commerce, foreign relations, those kinds of issues, as opposed to local and state issues. And remember, the power to do good is the power to do evil. So if you make a mistake in the federal government, you're making a mistake that is a one-size-fits-all solution for everybody. So everybody suffers. If you make a mistake in Michigan or California or Texas or Maine, it just affects the people in those states. But if you make a mistake in the federal government, you affect everyone. And it might not be a mistake, it just might be something you don't personally agree with. So the idea of enumerated powers is to rein in the federal government to only act in certain areas that are absolutely essential for the federal government to act in, and therefore any good or ill that it might do is restrained to that particular area. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the importance of the states, and not in the way I bet you're thinking about. I want you to remember that you can learn more at americasurvivalguide.com. That's where you can find my book, at patriotweek.org, and also listen to the Patriot Lessons American History and Civics podcast. Please share, like, and subscribe to as much of that as you can. Until tomorrow, God bless you and God bless America.